AEW takes us home before Full Gear on Wrestling with the Business.
Welcome back to Wrestling with the Business. I'm Matt, that's Jeremy, and we're talking AEW Full Gear, which is happening this Saturday night. First pay-per-view since AEW started on TV.
As my daughter would say, I'm excited.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to this. Before we get into the pay-per-view card, though, just got to mention on the go-home episode of Dynamite this week, one thing that really stood out was that Cody Rhodes promo he gave, hyping up the match. That was incredible.
Intense. That was some intense stuff. Millennial versus Gen Xer. Again, I've said it 1,000 times on this show. The title has nothing to do with it. It was great.
Yep. And he added the stipulation that if he doesn't beat Jericho, he's never going to challenge for that world title again.
Clearly taking his VP position very seriously.
Yeah, it was very, very good. There's a link to it in the description below. We also shared the video on our Facebook page, so definitely go check that out. But let's get into the card then. So there's 8 matches scheduled for this show, so it'll probably end up being about 3.5 hours long. Good solid length for a pay-per-view. First match on the pre-show is a women's match, Britt Baker versus Bea Priestley. This isn't really a match we've seen built up on TV that much. They really started the feud over the summer, over the other pay-per-views they had going on. So, what do you think about this match?
I think it's a solid one. I would expect these two are going to try to steal the show. They are, they're sort of the up-and-comers. AEW seems to take that position very seriously. They're not giving the women at the top. Riho's not getting any break. And what I mean by that is she's constantly under scrutiny. The fans love her, but there is a level of intensity to the matches with her that is very high. So I think it's a great opportunity for any young women to try to steal the show. The curtain jerk is where you try and do that. Yeah, technically it's the pre-show, but I would look to this match to try and steal the show. That is the dark horse match of the night for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're both big Britt Baker fans, but is she going to win this? What do you think?
God, I don't care. I think it's just going to be such a good match. Like, this is what appeals to me, kind of being at this stage of development with AEW. You don't have a lot of favorites, and you don't have there's not a lot of hate that's going on right there. You're just excited to see a good match. So I'll be honest with you. I hope they give it to Britt Baker. But I don't. Even if she loses, I think it's going to end up making her look good because it's going to be a hell of a match.
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking through this card, and that's what I keep thinking is I want all the baby faces to win and the heels to lose. It's not really something you see in WWE. I want Britt Baker to win, but I'm picking Bea Priestley to win this match.
No, it's good heat. It's all about getting good heat, and for the most part, AEW guys get good heat.
Yep. So then we go to the main show, and we've got another match here that hasn't been built up too much on TV. A little bit on the dark show that's on YouTube, but it's Joey Janela versus the chairman, Shawn Spears. So this is going to be a straight-up match, no hardcore stuff, but with Tully Blanchard on the outside, I'm sure there's going to be some chairs introduced at some point. So what do you think? Who do you think's going to win on this one?
I think when I watch this match, I'm going to do a wins count, and I'm going to see how many times I do a.
Take a drink every time.
This I might need you to share with me the ending if that's the case. From my book, that hardcore match, Janela's last hardcore match, stole the show. Not going to steal the show this time. He's a great mid-card performer. And I think this one... I think that this one has the makings to be the worst match of the night, but it will still score a 90 or above.
Yep. I might agree with you on that. I'm picking Shawn Spears to win it, though. I think as much as they've been pushing Janela, I think they want to put Spears just slightly ahead on there.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Next, we have Hangman Adam Page versus Pac. Now, these two have already faced each other before. They've faced in a tag match. Last couple of weeks, Hangman's been looking better than he has for some time. This is going to be a really good match. Yeah,
they were talking up his challenge to Jericho, and he's only gotten better since then. But I gotta tell you, man, Pac's finisher on Wednesday night, I thought his heel scraped the ceiling. He got so high. I mean, when he hit that mat and he made contact, AEW's really starting to gain a reputation as a 2 3/4, massive kickouts late in the match, building intensity. Man, when Pac came down, that match was over. I mean, it was a wonder that the whole ring didn't collapse into itself. I mean, when he hit, there was no question in my mind that match was over. I mean, he's a powerful performer. I mean, I really enjoy watching Pac wrestle. He's significantly better utilized here than on WWE, and he doesn't talk at all, which I love. He's just like pure, unbridled, concentrated evil, and he doesn't need to speak. His actions speak for it. I love it. I want Pac to go over. And I want to say that Hangman's entrance is growing on me. I really didn't like it the first couple of times I saw it, but it's really starting to grow on me.
He's got catchy music. I like it.
And it's kind of catchy. Yeah, the horse and everything. It's kind of cool.
This one, a week or two ago, I would have said this would have been completely predictable that Pac was going to definitely win. Now, the last couple of weeks they've been building Page, I have some doubts. I want Page to win, but I'm still going to pick Pac as well. Next, we have the AEW Women's Championship, Riho versus Emi Sakura. Again, this is another match that hasn't really been built up on TV. This past week, they had a tag match together, and commentary put over that Sakura trained Riho, so there's that connection, but this feud kind of came out of nowhere, and then Sakura ended up pinning Riho in the tag match.
Yep. Yeah, I think, again, this is one of those situations, I think it's a little bit too little too late. I think that this is going to be the women's match of the year. It's pretty easy to call in mid-November, but I think this will be better than any women's match you've seen throughout the entire year. The tag match was extremely solid from this past week. Sakura is a great heel in the ring, man, with the finger wagging, and she really takes on the character. She's really effective. It's clear that she's been doing this a really long time. I think they were saying she started when she was 9 or something in the commentary.
Oh, that's Riho.
Riho, but didn't they say that maybe it wasn't 9, but Sakura's been wrestling for forever. Yeah, for forever too. The intensity's high. I think it's a little bit too little too late with the development. I think they were trying to make it almost like they're doing with Jericho. It's got nothing to do with the title. It's new generation versus old generation. And I think Riho retains the title, and it will be a stellar match, exceptional match, the best women's match you've seen all year. Lots of high flying, lots of craziness, I'm sure.
Yeah, 2 Japanese women, they're going to let it all hang out. They're going to go full bore. But I agree. I think Rio's keeping the title. Then we got the AEW Tag Championship match. SCU, the champs, versus the Lucha Bros. And this week, Private Party was added to the match to make it a triple threat tag.
This one's going to get a little crowded. I'm very interested to see how they manage their time. Triple threat matches are known for being especially difficult. It's some of the hardest matches wrestlers can take part in. It's very difficult. Unfortunately, when you watch triple threat matches, there tends to be either too much action or not enough action. Very rarely do they seem to hit the nail on the head. And then you throw 3 other guys in there and things tend to get really crowded. I would expect a lot of action outside the ring. You're going to see a lot of guys that are not legal men going after each other outside of the ring. Yeah. I'd expect at least 2 or 3 last-second pull-downs to miss the tag, which is one of my favorite techniques, which you almost never see in the WWE. And I'm going to go with SCU retains, but it's going to be just like the actual last match of the tournament. The Lucha Brothers are going to do some crazy stuff. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the key is going to be balance. The key is going to be making sure that they maintain balance. The only risk with this match, and I think this is a risk with all AEW matches, is that too much happens. I mean, anytime we've been overwhelmed, I think you'll agree with me on this. We've been overwhelmed when we've seen with tag team matches with just the level of just high spot after high spot after high spot. And I think the risk for that is really high. AEW really needs to stay balanced. And I think that if all 3 teams can take a balanced approach to this match, it can be exciting without wearing out the audience.
Yep. I expect there's going to be a lot of illegal men in the ring, not just outside the ring. But I'm really interested to see if they're going to go the WWE route with their triple threat tag teams and only have 2 legal wrestlers in the ring, or if they're going to have 3. I'd really like to see a proper triple threat, 3 guys in there at the same time.
Yeah, they need to have 3. That would be a serious disappointment if they only had 2.
Yeah. But like you, I'm picking SCU to hang on to the titles. And then there's another tag match also, a grudge match. The Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz. I think Santana and Ortiz are going to beat the Bucks.
The Bucks don't mind losing. The Bucks don't mind losing at all. I give them a lot of respect for it. This is not an organization that believes in 50-50 booking.
Yep.
Which is great. The Bucks have essentially made themselves mid-card performers, right? They could easily shoot to the top with the level of talent that they've got, but they really don't mind handing the spotlight over. I'm with the Bucks. I'm getting a little sick of the choreography. The double super kick's kind of cool when they're running into the ring and clearing house. That's kind of cool. When I see it 3 or 4 times in the middle of the ring, it kind of loses me a little bit. Love the image, love the intensity. This is one that I think this is just going to be about acrobatics, right? I mean, they're calling it a grudge match to try to add intensity, but I don't think anyone's feeling any real emotional intensity. Maybe AEW tries with a late video package or something like that to try to build some kind of intensity, but I'm not seeing it. This is going to be all acrobatics, all coordination. This is going to be all athletic and very little story.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that Cody brought out in his promo on Dynamite this past week was how the Elite are looking to the Inner Circle to be, that big rivalry. So I think Santana Ortiz winning this match, beating the Bucks, will just prolong that feud and until we get the big 5-on-5 match down the road.
Yep.
Next, we got the AEW World Championship. Chris Jericho, the champ, versus Cody, the one we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, again, the intensity is exceptional. Jericho's a good wrestler, but he really falls short compared to his peers. He looks old. He's really trying to make up for it with character. There can be no doubt that
he's undefeated in the company now, 6-0.
Well, he's the champion, right? I mean, he has to go over. He has to win, otherwise he's a paper champ, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of the story, all the intensity is all centered around him. He's staked his claim. He's made his name. He will, what do they say? There may be better, there may be worse, but there'll never be another first. And nobody is ever going to tolerate Cody not vying for the title again. So I'm going to go with Cody goes over. And for Jericho, it won't be retirement, but this could very well be his last really major, really significant match. So I think he's going to lay it out, and I'd bet a pretty penny that someone's going to end up juicing in this match. I think we're going to see blood.
I think Jericho's going to retain. I've been reading some stuff online.
And we whisk Cody away to the back offices. We can check in on him every couple of months. Just the camera of him sitting sadly behind the desk, writing, cashing checks.
I've been reading some stuff online and seeing some predictions, and there's been some fantasy booking that sounds pretty enticing. That Cody loses, he doesn't get any title shot ever again, or any world title shot. But when they introduce a mid-card title, then he's gonna win the title and be like the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge type figure who wrestles all the younger guys, elevates all the younger guys, builds up that mid-card title for, a year plus, and then sometime down the road, either Tony Khan comes in or the rest of the elite comes in and says he can have a world title shot, or maybe he turns heel and says, oh, what I said before, that's crap, I'm going for the world title. Something along those lines. But building up that mid-card, I think, would be a good spot for him if he's not going for the world title.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, that would be extremely interesting. I think maybe it's just wishful thinking. I just want to see a better wrestler hold the title, and nothing against Jericho. He was great in his day, but he's all bark and not a whole lot of bite anymore. So I think I'd just like to see a better wrestler.
Yeah, my heart wants Cody, but I'm picking Jericho. It's a 60-minute time limit, and then they also have 3 judges. If they go the 60 minutes, who's going to pick a winner?
Yeah, Jericho can't go 60 minutes. I think if Jericho went 60 minutes, he'd have to take a nap in the middle of the match. Again, nothing against him, but he's almost 50 years old, and the idea that he can keep up with, these private party guys and these lucha guys and Cody, I mean, it's just crazy. The expectation, it's not realistic.
All right, so then we got one last match, likely the main event, the Lights Out match, unsanctioned. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega.
I'm going to make my bold prediction here, and I'm going to say that this match times out.
I don't think there's going to be a time limit. It's unsanctioned.
Okay, then let me put it this way. If there is a time limit, then my prediction is it times out and the match ends. Okay. This is one of those, I'm going to make a bad comparison with WWE here. I don't want either one of them to win, and I don't want either one of them to lose. This is going to be an insane match. It's going to be blood, guts, and gore. It's going to be extremely intense. I'm really looking forward to the level of creativity. AEW, here's your chance. Strike where WWE was too cowardly to. I want to see a food fight. It's the main of. I don't know how you don't make it the main event.
Yeah.
If it isn't the main event, then there's going to be a time limit.
Right.
When the main event has a 60-minute time limit, if it's not the main event, then there's going to be a time limit, and then I think it's going to time out. And then I think that they will maybe go in a slightly different direction. I don't think it's going to stay like a one-on-one thing, but I think that they'll use that fuel between the two of them to maybe build a stable up on either one of their sides and sort of create their own little stable, for lack of a better way of saying it, and build the intensity. Sharks versus the Jets. kind of a thing. If I was to make a prediction, I would say, God, I really want Moxley to go over, but I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to win.
Yeah. I'm thinking Moxley's going to go over. If Jericho keeps the title, I can see Moxley being the number one contender somehow. I'm not sure what his record is right now, but I can see him being the next one to face Jericho.
Heel on heel?
Moxley's not a heel.
I mean, compared to Omega, it's all about contrast. He might not be a great heel, but compared to Omega, he is.
Yeah, I think he's enough of a crowd favorite, and against Jericho, he would definitely be the face.
That's true. Yeah, okay, if it's contrast. But again, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to draw a link. It's hard for me to understand why Jericho or Moxley would pick a fight with each other. Moxley doesn't even want the title.
Why wouldn't he?
You know what I'm saying? Like, huh?
Why wouldn't he?
Well, I'm just saying, like, the character is, they're not calling it Lunatic Fringe, but it's the same kind of idea that they're going for with AEW, and it just seems like he's not really that interested in it.
I think it's less of a lunatic and more of he's been let out of the cage of WWE. He's free to do what he wants, and if he wants to go for the title, he's going to go for the title.
You think that AEW is going to start getting creative and brutal with some of their women's matches?
I would hope so. You mean start doing gimmick
when
matches?
When you see women swinging baseball bats covered in barbed wire at each other, it kind of gives you a different feeling, though. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a different image. It's something that we really haven't seen any other organization go after, really.
Yeah, not since like what's her name, Gail Kim in Impact. Her and Awesome Kong, they were doing all kinds of last woman standing and everything. If anyone does do that, I would see like Bea Priestley be one of the women to do that, and maybe even Britt Baker be the other one. As far as the Joshi Japanese women, they're all more about skill and technique than hardcore stuff.
I wouldn't want to see that. That's not the proper use of their skills.
Right.
And maybe the women's division would have to expand a little bit more, but
yeah,
it's interesting because the AEW brand is sort of, women are the same as men. By the way, we haven't talked about this at all. This might be worth its own little commentary video, but the refereeing is very good.
Oh my God, yeah.
In AEW, the refereeing is really exceptionally good.
Aubrey Edwards is my favorite referee right now. She's one of my favorite
characters. It would be Yeah, we should do that. We should do a brief video talking about what makes a good ref and what makes a bad ref, and a good ref can really help take a bad match and make it better, and a bad ref can just bury a good match.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the refereeing is going to be good. And one other really weird off the wall comment, but I don't think the referees are going to be much of a factor. I think that they're going to. AEW's been sprinkling in some more of that, he hit the referee, or the referee's distracted, that kind of a thing. I think you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of that with this kind of stuff. So,
all right, so
it's gonna be a hell of a show.
It's gonna be awesome.
Hell of a show.
I'm really looking forward to it. So that's the pay-per-view this Saturday night, 8:00. We're gonna be watching. And we'll,
Baltimore, Maryland.
Is it in Baltimore? I couldn't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's in Baltimore, yeah.
And we'll have a review of it next week on our videos, so stay tuned.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment, what is your favorite match going to be? I'm dying to hear this because I've been reading online and everyone seems to have a different idea. So what match are you most looking forward to? And what do you think is going to be your surprise outcome? What's going to be your dark horse match of the night? Who's going to walk away the champion? Comment below, like, subscribe, share. Remember to hit that notification button because God knows subscribing doesn't mean anything anymore on YouTube. And stay with us.
And in the meantime, always keep kayfabe, follow the money, and we'll keep wrestling with the business.